Given that we are in earnings week, I wanted to stay right on top of this very unique situation that we're in. If you've been following Tesla stock for a while, which many of you have, we're used to seeing Tesla moving up in anticipation of a beat. So all week, as we get closer and closer to the call, there's a lot of FOMO going on, fear of missing out, and people don't want to, if there's a big beat, they don't want to miss it. Then almost every time something is said during the call, usually by Elon Musk, and the street doesn't recognize the value of what he said. Commonly, it's too transparent, it's too real, and some of the investing community just doesn't get it. And so we have a sell-off on Thursday. Then we move up during the next 2 weeks as markets digest the call and realize that, man, you got to listen to this Elon Musk guy because he tells it straight up. No, there's no filter. I guess maybe it's part of Asperger's not to have a filter. All right. This is Randy Kirk. Hit like, subscribe. Listen, Brian White was on earlier today. He'll be on again tomorrow. He breaks news in both cases. I promise you, if you didn't watch the video earlier today, it breaks news. You're going to want to watch that one. Go back and see it. I'll put a card down below in a minute. Up above in a minute. And then the one tomorrow, going to break more news. That'll be around noon tomorrow, sometime around noon. All right. So nobody in the investing community. Now there's a couple of us, me, and I think I definitely saw it today where Larry Goldberg thinks that there's going to be a beat on Wednesday. But by and large, the investing community, even the fans, are expecting 71, 72, 73, 74 cents in terms of earnings, which is slightly down from last quarter, and would be, okay, the market's probably not going to be hurt if it turns out to be 73, 74 cents. Might not like 71, probably will not like anything under 70, but I think everybody's expecting that, and that's where we're going. But the bull narrative is back in the regular market, although I don't think you can say that the risk on is back. Right now, it's kind of a gentle bull. The bulls are just kind of like, okay, you know what? Let's put some more money in. Let's take a little money off the side. Let's go ahead and put a little more. So slowly but surely, the market is rising. But we have these comments today on CNBC that I think are worth looking at. Former Fed President Dennis Lockhart was commenting on a statement by Austin Goolsbee, who's now on the Fed. Both of them say, hey, it's a deflationary trend. They expect it to continue. There's a softer economy coming in 2024, but don't see any recession coming. So Lockhart says he thinks they'll hold in November, but then like 85% of those polled think I forget the last number, 85% think they'll hold in November. I think they'll hold in December as well. I think they'll hold in January as well. He says he thinks that the Fed will want to see a continuation, see what the impact is going to continue to be on what they've already done. So he says Treasury yields are likely to be down as a result of the Middle East conflict. So far, I'm seeing nothing, absolutely nothing that I can lay on the Middle East conflict. Markets are not responding. The equity markets are still going up. Oil is there. Bond yields are, it's like nothing's happening. All right. So then on another story, Ed Yardeni says the economy has proved it can live with 4.5 to 5% interest. I've been saying that for months and months and months. It is not, 4.5, 5% is not unusual. In fact, I would say it's more usual than unusual. Now, the mortgage rate's now getting up around 7%. Yeah, 7, that's not good, but it's not that bad either. Again, I'm going to have Bill Rayman on, my mortgage guy. I'm going to have him on. If you want to contact him before that, his information is below in the description. If you need to look into a mortgage, or if you're thinking about buying a house, even in the next 6, 7, 8 months, or your kids are, your friends are, they should talk to Bill ahead of time, like way ahead of time. Anyway, but it looks like earnings are going to be at record high. So far, every inclination is that way. That's what Ed Yardeni agreed with, which is what I've been saying. So the most anticipated recession of all time is just not happening, he said. And I've said for 7 months, I've been telling you since I started this channel, I said, no, it's more than that now. We're up to like almost 11 months. We're going to be coming up to a year anniversary here around December 1. Anyway, earnings record high, no recession, no inflation. Inflation is dead. It's over. It's finished. Put a cap on it. All right. So when Tesla does beat on Wednesday, though, because I believe they will, on margins and on earnings, and assuming the guidance is 1.8 million, and there's nothing in the question and answer that doesn't completely blow it, I think we'll see a potential upswing on Tesla Thursday, bigger than the NASDAQ. So between now and Wednesday, Tesla moves with the NASDAQ. You know, sometimes it's a little more, sometimes a little less. Most of the time it's more. It has a beta, I think they call it, of 2. So sometimes it moves double what the NASDAQ is. I'm not anticipating that. I think this week it's going to be moving about the same as the NASDAQ, like it did today, as I predicted this morning and over the weekend. I said it multiple times that I thought that's what would be going on this week. I think that'll happen tomorrow. I think that'll happen Wednesday. And then after we beat and reconfirm 1.8 million, then we will have a very good Thursday, Friday. And then we'll go back to having kind of a normal 2 beta with regard to Tesla versus the NASDAQ. I think that's how things will continue along for the rest of the month, regardless of catalyst. And that's going to continue past the end of the month. It's going to continue into November. It's going to continue into December. It's going to continue into January, except for, of course, news catalysts. And those could be news catalysts that hurt the bull. And so there could be down days or down weeks because there's something going on in the world or in the United States or in the markets or whatever else that causes a pause in the bull. But, you know, this bull, I think it's the second leg. It's going to be pretty straight up with these great earnings now and expecting even better earnings in the fourth quarter. So, yes, I think the bull will continue like this. I think Tesla stock will continue like this. But then Tesla has multiple catalysts, as you're well aware of. Not least of which is the CT. Okay, most of which, the one that we know about, at some point, the Cybertruck is going to be announced. It's going to be, the handover is going to be announced. And there's going to be 3 or 4 catalysts. You've heard me say about this before, but there's always new folks. So it's not just one catalyst. It's not just the announcement of the fact there's going to be a handover, which also implies that production is taking place. Then you have the actual handover when that takes place. And when the handover takes place, or prior to the handover taking place, they're going to announce the prices and the rest of the specs. So sometime in the next month, probably month or so, we're going to know the prices and the specs. All that jazz is going to happen. After the handover takes place, then there's going to be some reporting coming in, people driving it, people talking about how they like it. There's going to be some things we don't know yet, according to insider sources that we've heard from. There's some stuff that nobody's reported on yet that's going to be part of this truck. Then there's the trucks are going to be all over the country driving around. That's going to be a catalyst. As people see them on the street, it's not going to be a forgettable situation. There's going to be pictures everywhere in newspapers and magazines, online. Everywhere you're going to see pictures of the Cybertruck, and then they're going to be in all these great camos and various different things. And then you're going to have a third-party review at some point, probably pretty quickly, because I think the third-party folks, the Road and Tracks, and all these different folks that would have a reason to want to do a review, they're going to be bugging the heck out of these people that took delivery. And maybe the people that take delivery are going to be looking to them and saying, hey, you want to do a review? Anyway, one way or the other, I think we'll see some third-party reviews. And if those are excellent, which we all certainly think they're going to be, then that's going to be just one more thing. Elon is going to be on Rogan and he's going to be on Friedman. I suspect they'll talk about the Cybertruck. In fact, if I had my way, I'd be saying, Elon, bring them over to the factory, let them drive the thing for a couple of hours on FSD with you, and that'll give you guys something to talk about, which would be kind of, helpful in the PR sense. Anyway, I'm saying that Tesla will continue higher regardless of the catalyst, but the catalyst is coming. So remember, no catalyst at all, just with the existing product. Tesla could be at 800 or higher based on where they were 2 years ago. They were 410 2 years ago, November. And the only two things that were different was that the narrative on Tesla was extremely strong to the positive, and the market narrative, the bull and the risk on, was way out there. So everybody was excited and trying to get in on the bull. Well, we don't have that right now. So that's why we're not at 800, but we could be without Cybertruck, without Gen 3, without FSD, without anything except a really good story, a really good narrative, and going forward with a bull market. So I see just this continuation. All right. So the pre-market this evening is essentially flat across the board, waiting for tomorrow morning for B of A and American Airlines, which will be both announcing earnings in the morning. So the market is kind of waiting on those right now. They're waiting on earnings all week because this is the beginning of, last week was the very beginning of earnings seasons. This is kind of the middle, but there's some big, you got Netflix later this week. You've got United Airlines, Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, a bunch of different major earnings that people will be looking at to kind of see where the market is and also whether the earnings season is going to be an all-time high, which I believe it's going to be. Now, once again, if you missed Brian and my discussion on batteries earlier today, yeah, we broke news. In fact, we broke news that the limiting factor, he didn't comment on us specifically, so maybe he came to this conclusion separately from us, but he posted on X today very much the same thing that we were talking about on that video, which I also talked about. I think it was on Saturday. I did a video where I said the batteries are going to basically be free at some point for Tesla. And that's, he didn't say free, but again, you can take a look at the video with Brian and I earlier today. And he said almost exactly what we were saying in the video earlier today. And so the card will be there. And then tomorrow, definitely you're going to want to watch the video. So hit notify. In order to do notify, you have to hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And if you haven't done either one of those, how come? And then as long as you're playing around with the buttons, you can hit like. And then if you're really like, okay, I'm just getting more and more passionate about this Randy guy. So, I want to really help his channel out. How can I help his channel out? Well, you can hit like, you can hit subscribe, you can hit notify, you can make comments down below. That really helps. You can watch videos all the way to the end. You can watch more videos. All those things help. You could buy one of these, come in this cool, absolutely wonderful magnetic box. So cool. And then, it's made out of this 3 millimeter stainless, just like the actual, this we're not talking about this. Ouch. This thing is sturdy. It's got this great magnet on the back. People are buying these in multiples. Just had another order for 12 the other day, had another order for 3 that was going to Norway, I think. Lots and lots of folks buying this. And you can also get it. It's $25. But you can get this $25 gift for free if you join Patreon at the $10 level. And people are now commenting on Patreon about my news. I'm putting up news every single day. And it's, as quick as I see it, if I think it's valuable, I put it up. But just 2, 3, at the most 5. I don't think it would have to be an incredible news day for me to put up more than 5, because I think you'd get annoyed at some point if I was putting up more than that. All right, so $25. PayPal.me/Randy Kirk, all in lowercase letters. If you want more than 1, multiply that times the number up to 10, and then let me know. Get in touch with me. We'll talk about a number, some kind of a discount, around 10% discount if you want more than 10. And then, what else? I think there was one more thing I wanted to tell you. You want to be, I told you want to be back tomorrow for the show with Brian. And of course, I'll be back for the normal show in the morning. You definitely want to see that. And if you live outside the United States, you got to add another $20, no matter how many you buy. But if you buy 5 or more, you don't have to add the $20. 5 or more, and I'll pay your freight, even though it's really expensive for 5 or more. But under 5, you need to add $20 to your order. That's it. I knew there was one more thing. I just couldn't remember what it was. Hey, it's been great talking to you as always. I can never find this button